Mythology has found narratives in different forms of literatures, both textual and visual. Concepts from Purana, Greek, and Egyptian mythologies have inspired theatre arts, films, and popular culture like street dramas, songs, band music, and poetry. This time they are inspiring web series. Hello and welcome to Indian Mythology in Modernity. And today I'm going to give my appreciation of popular Indian web series Asur. So let me clarify, this is not a review. This is an analysis of the show with both the good and the bad aspects. So if you haven't yet watched Asur, I will suggest that you first go and watch the show and then come back to my review. Today I'm going to speak about the good stuffs, the bad stuffs, and some very other interesting things which you may or may not have heard before. So let's begin. Asur is a popular mythological crime thriller which was released on OTT platform Voot, a web application of Viacom 18. I'll not go much deep into the storyline. So in short, it is the story of a psychological serial killer who compares himself to Asur from the Hindu Puranas. Now, what is his motive? Why and how he commits the murders? And finally, who is he? Are the major questions that are explored in the show. Good and evil both reside within us, and that is the main philosophy of Asur. Now, I have heard and read many reviews about the show, and most of them seem to be ecstatic. Some have claimed that Asur is the best Indian thriller. Now, I will begin by differing from the other reviews of Asur, and I will do so very categorically. First, it is unique and one of its kind. No other Indian series or film has ever explored mythology this way. No, I choose to disagree. Mythology has inspired films and books and many other narratives since ages. We have the Krishna Ki, Chanakya's Chant by Ashwin Sanghi, and also the Mahabharata Secret by Christopher Doyle. And if we talk about films, we do have Da Vinci Code, and which is a book as well as a popular film. Even if we stick to Indian cinema alone, there are many interesting examples which have used mythology as the driving plot of their narratives. Let's talk about Satyajit's popular crime fiction series Feluda, which uses mythology as the backbone of many of its stories, most of which have been made into films and teleseries later on. One prominent example is the fourth story in the series, Sheal Devata Rohosho, which weaves its mystery around the statue of Anubis, the ancient god of afterlife in Egyptian mythology. This was later made into a popular teleseries starring Shobboshachi Chakraborty and Shashwata Chatterjee, which became so famous that it was again remade as a teleseries in 2017, after it was originally released in 1996 on Doordarshan Bangla. Actually, Satyajit Ray has often used mythological metaphors in many of his films. For example, in Kapurush, when Amitabh enters Karuna's room, a few lines from Tagore's opera Chitrangada plays at the background. The lines go somewhat like this, where Chitrangada says, "Arjun, tumi Arjun." Arjuna responds, "Ha! Balokero dol, mar kole jao chole nahi bhoy. Oho, ki adbhut koutuk." Chitrangada says again, "Arjun, tumi Arjun." Now we understand that reference is being made to Arjuna and Chitrangada from Mahabharata. Again, in Gopika in Baghabain, we find the ghost king telling the two men to ask for teen bor. Teen bor, which typically means 3 boons, which can be life-changing for them. Now there is a starking similarity with the dialogue of Yama from Upanishads, which reads, Trin Varan Vrinishva. Trin means 3, that is 3 bones. Apart from Ray, there have been other directors in Indian cinema who have explored mythology. Ux, released in 2001, directed by Rakesh Omprakash Mehra, is a movie which explores the ancient Indian philosophy that a human being's body is the battleground of good and evil. Something very similar to what the serial killer is trying to establish in Asur. Next, it is very gripping and you cannot miss a moment. I disagree again on this about Asur because even though the screenplay is good and the way in which mystery unfolds itself is sound, but the first few episodes are really sluggish at times. The same point or the same concept is being repeated again and again. Next, science and mythology have been well blended. Well, science is there, but I feel personally that mythology has not been properly explored in Asur. I mean, how the murders are related to mythology comes only at the last 3 episodes of the show. And the brief narratives to Rishi Kashyap and his wife, Kalki, and Kalisur serve just as the background to the plot. Now, talking about some major loopholes in Asur. Number 1, DJ is the leading officer and he is a forensic expert. Nikhil Nair comes and takes up the case and he is a forensic expert too. Now, as per my knowledge, a forensic expert is generally never the chief investigating officer in CBI, are they? Not sure. Second, insufficient references. There are statements in the show, but there are not enough references to support those statements. For example, the definition of the word Asur is given as Asura, which means a person who doesn't have the Sura or wine after Samudra Manthan. Now, this definition of Asur is given only in the Brahmanda Purana. But in ancient Vedic texts and all other texts before that, any gods or demigods who had miraculous powers were called Asurs. Number 3, the story talks about Diti and Aditi, but again doesn't refer to Matsya Purana, which is the original source of this information. It also doesn't talk about Diti's other children like Hiranyaksh or Holika. Number 4, the aberrant use of a thigh mask. The serial killer leaves a mask beside every dead body. For what? To signify he is Asur. But the mask is not anything close to the Indian representation of Asura. It is a thigh mask which can be seen during the staging of Ramayana in Thailand. The closest resemblance of the mask is to Vayupak, who is a half bird, half demon figure. So this complete concept of the mask is irrelevant to me in this context. Next, the next flaw that I can find here is the unnecessary complication of emotional relationships. The love triangle between Nusrat, Nikhil, and his wife was completely not required in this particular thriller drama. But it was still put in. I do not understand for what reason. The Dhanishta Nakshatra. Now, I have to speak about this concept. It is being said in the show that whoever is born with in the Dhanishta Nakshatra, actually possesses evil powers. Or Dhanishta Nakshatra is the nakshatra of the Asura. So that is why, because Shubh is born in the Dhanishta Nakshatra, he possesses the evil powers of Asura. That's what his father thinks. Now let me clarify here that Dhanishta Nakshatra, according to Indian mythology, is the nakshatra of the deities Agni, Prithvi, Vayu, Varun, Dayus, Surya, Chandramas, Dhruv, and the 8 Vasus. Definitely not Asur. Next, why the finger is cut? I mean, the index finger of the dead bodies are cut. Why it is cut? This question is never answered throughout the show. Okay, now let's talk about some good stuff. Arshad Varsi and Barun Shokti are extremely convincing with their realistic performances. Number 2, the young boy, Vishesh Bansal, who played Shubh, is actually very, very good as a calm and calculative super genius. Number 3, the show has the ability to keep you guessing. And number 4, the flashbacks to Varanasi are really refreshing and very significant and carefully placed in the narrative. Now, so according to me, it is clear to you that Asur is definitely not the perfect thriller, and more specifically, not a perfect mythological thriller for me. I will explain why. Last week, suddenly I came across a particular mini series on YouTube. I was just browsing through and I found it. It is named Kalki. The mini web series has two parts, part 1 and part 2. And I was really blown away by the concept of it. It appeared to me like a startup web series, so definitely doesn't have a good star cast, and there are execution problems. But the concept is amazing, I must say. And yes, here I'm not patronizing anybody, and neither is this made after watching Asur, because if you look at the release date of the particular web series, you will find that this has released sometime in 2014, and that is long time back. Now, why I'm referring to this? Because the concept is really good. It's an absolute spot-on blend of mathematics and mythology. So you must watch it on YouTube. The links to this particular series is given in my description box below. And the references for today's video are also given in the same. If you want to read my book Kanya Yug, you can actually find it on Amazon, Motion Press stores, and many other stores around you. And if you like my video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. So till next time, stay safe and happy reading.